Welcome to episode 2 of Editoreo, where we mix news and editorial cartoons to create an editorial. Thank you, everyone, for the positive feedback on episode 1. We hope you keep liking the editorials, and we'll keep making them as long as you do. Based on the feedback, I'm going to shorten the length of the videos to between 6 to 8 minutes in length. I might adjust that, but I'm thinking that's about the sweet spot for attention. The first video was maybe too long on detail, so I'll try to be more effective with that and make more of the commentary. Last week, to answer your questions, last week, Noodlebomb, by the way, great nickname, asked, how long does it take to make one of these videos? It depends. It can be pretty quick, which is about a day turnaround, a long day turnaround, 10 to 12 hours. That's if the detail is pretty simple and I get a quick turnaround from editors. And by editors, I mean people that I use to bounce the ideas and sketches off of, just to get a feel for the quality of the concept. If it's a detailed image, that requires a lot of research and elaborate coloring. Or sometimes the concept is just being difficult and needs reworking a lot. That can take up to 72 hours. Normally, those would be sufficiently quick to get them out there, but the current news cycle seems to have bombshell revolutions, revelations happening almost every day. So while it's a good time to be an editorial cartoonist, it's tough to keep up to it and get the cartoons out there before the news gets old. And this cartoon is a good example of that. To me, anyway, this is almost getting too old to post. So let's dig into it. Last week, which seems like a year ago now, you may remember that the White House had a press briefing, a rare occurrence these days. Let me back up a little bit more. The week before that, the Trump administration had a meeting with the heads of the security services to discuss election meddling and what to do about it for 2018. By all accounts, that was pretty much only a photo op, and the opinion was that everyone involved didn't really take it seriously enough. So it seemed, again, that nothing was going to get done. So last week, to kind of squash that impression, they opened up their first press briefing they had had in the White House for quite a while by strolling out all the security chiefs. It was quite a show, actually. They just had all of them all walk in at once, and you're sitting there going, "What's going on?" So there's Dan Coates, Kirsten Nielsen, and John Bolton, and a bunch of others. And let me tell you, this is like the definition of a dog and pony show. First, Dan Coates got up there and did his impression of that Sergeant Schultz character. The German soldier that always said, "I know nothing." That was basically Dan Coates' impression. He knows nothing, or he's not telling you that he knows anything. And then Kirsten Nielsen gets up there and just basically she was reading like off the prompter, right off a pamphlet for the Department of Homeland Security. There's like nothing. It was just how great the Homeland Security is doing their job, and anyway, one after the other, they all get up there and they do basically the same thing, which is telling everybody, "Don't worry about it. We're dealing with it." And then they got a bunch of questions, and basically they had no answers for what they were doing, and everyone pretty much knows is nothing because they don't have and haven't been able to approve any budget to get anything done. So it should concern everyone that this upcoming election is in 2018 is definitely going to be meddled with, and hopefully we just don't have the fiasco that we had in 2016. On one hand, everyone is forewarned is forearmed, which means we're all aware of it now and are on the lookout for actual fake news. So, our BS detectors are quite attuned at this point. But the level of tension in this election is just so high that, any little incident once uncovered is going to be cause for blows on both sides, no matter what it is, because they're going to spin it to try to prove their own grievance. My advice, for what it's worth, is for everyone, make up your mind well before the election, get your votes in, and then treat any news in the last couple of weeks as suspect. Just check multiple sources. And one thing I do on Google is I Google the headline and I read through a couple of the pages of the results. And if it's a fake story, there's going to be a couple of articles in there calling it out. So that's one thing you can use to protect yourself. And lastly, get out and vote. Despite all this hubbub about meddling, it's vitally important that you vote. Democracy is under attack at the well source of its foundation, the United States. And if we don't respond and put an end to it immediately, we could be looking at a free country in the rearview mirror of history. Well, that's it for editorial episode 2. If you enjoyed it, please let me know in the comments and also give me your questions in the comments. I'll answer one or two of them in the next video. If you like the video, give me a thumbs up below. If you want to see more if you want to see more, click subscribe and ring the bell so you can be notified when the next video is published. Also, I've added a link so you can check out my comic book channel too. By the way, you can help support this and all my art entertainment endeavors by visiting my Patreon page and making a pledge of just a few bucks a month. It really helps, and you get some awesome rewards too. Thanks for watching, keep laughing, and see you next time.